Hey everyone, we're back here doing another review. What else are we going to review? It's the only huge movie coming out this weekend, and no, it's not Ferdinand.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, that's coming later today. George Lucas's baby has come out. Well, now it's Disney's baby. But yeah, we're talking about none other than Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Okay, Star Wars: The Last Jedi takes place... Episode 8 takes place immediately after Force Awakens, and the Empire, or the New Order, has the rebellion on the run.
It's the First Order.
The First Order?
Yeah,
the First Order on the run. It's early. We saw this at 9 o'clock in the morning. So the fact that we're awake right now is pretty impressive, actually. So the First Order has the rebels on the run. Rey is with Luke. And this is a story about a lot of people coming to terms with what the past is and what the future is going to be in reality. This is a movie where they tell you several times we have to stop looking towards the past and start looking towards the future.
The future is dying.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
It was okay. I mean, I still have this one question.
Is it a spoiler?
Yes.
Then we'll do that one later then. Yeah, it's an okay movie. This is getting high praise on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm quite frankly not sure why. You can tell this is a Disney movie because at certain points I was like, this is Guardians of the Galaxy level of comedy. There was a bit too much comedy in it for me. How about you?
Yeah, I was like, wait, doesn't Star Wars have this much comedic moments?
I understand you have to have some of them to break up. There was some heavy stuff going on in the movie, but at the same time there was way too much comedy in this movie. It was nice to see Mark Hamill reprise his role as Luke Skywalker. I thought that was pretty cool. Daisy Ridley as Rey was fine, but there were lots of points in the movie where she disappeared. Like, I didn't know where she was for the whole, third act.
Who, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before she came in the Millennium Falcon, I was like, where the hell did she go?
I thought this is not a spoiler.
No, I just said she disappeared. I didn't say what she's doing.
Oh.
Boyega as Finn, he was fine. I actually thought you could have cut some of his parts out of the movie to make it shorter. This is the longest Star Wars movie ever at 2 hours and 30 minutes. And it kind of felt it at times. And there was a lot of main characters. You had Kylo Ren, you had Rey, you had Poe, you had Finn, you had Mark Hamill Luke, and then you had Rose, and then what was the name of the girl who ended up being the general? You know what I'm talking about, the one with the purple hair.
Oh. I don't even remember her.
Yeah, and then you had Leia. So this is a movie that had to juggle 8 characters. It tried its best it could. The opening scene. You want to talk about the opening scene?
I don't remember the opening scene.
The fight. The space fight.
Oh.
This is a movie that drops you in as soon... The beginning of this movie felt like the ending of Rogue One, where it was just this huge battle going on.
Yeah. And
people were freaking dying left and right on both sides.
And you said this was not spoilers.
It's in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Spoilers is spoilers.
No, we'll get into spoilers a little bit later. There's a couple of good lightsaber sequences, especially the one with Kylo Ren and Rey, which is actually pretty brutal for a Disney movie, for a Star Wars movie. You're not gonna top Phantom Menace, but it was a really impressive fight scene. Anything else good? You're tired, aren't you?
Yes.
That
doesn't mean I'll sleep though.
Yeah, the bad about this movie is it felt like it had too many callbacks. A lot of nonsensical stuff happens, and I can't get into it in a non-spoiler review. So a lot of nonsense happens. Oh, one of the things I did like that they got away from the midichlorians. This is a movie that subverts in a lot of ways. It subverts what you think it's gonna do, and goes in a different direction, which I actually found refreshing. And it changes the mythos of Star Wars on its head, really. This movie. This movie's hard to talk about without spoiling a bunch of plot points and why I don't think it's as good as everyone's making it out to be. I think it's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. It doesn't feel like a repeat like Force Awakens did. It did have a little bit too much fan service for me. I don't care about the Pogues. And every time they showed up in the movie, it was just like, oh, you're trying to sell merchandise. What are they called? The Pogues, right? Or the Pogos? Something like that.
I don't remember.
But yeah, they existed. You could have, once again, that's something you could have just taken out the movie. I understand it doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but they stuck out every time they were in the scene. So you gave Chewie, who is a sidekick, you gave the sidekick a sidekick.
Yeah, because Han Solo's dead.
Yeah, he died in Force Awakens.
He got stabbed.
Mm-hmm. There's a villain in this movie, don't say it, that is pointless, in all honesty.
Han Solo's pretty dead.
This review is going off the fucking rails.
I felt like Peter Griffin there.
Yeah, you did. You sounded like Peter Griffin. I can't explain why this movie didn't connect with me without going into spoilers, but
it kind of sucked.
No, it didn't suck. Like I wasn't bored. It did feel the 2 hours and 30 minutes though.
Yeah.
But I wasn't bored. I was just like, I wish it was like less stuff going on, or at least if you're gonna have things happen, have it make sense. There's a part in the movie, try not to get spoilers again, where something happens and you just look at it and go, there's no way that's happening in real life. And I understand this is a movie, but when you're not particularly invested in the movie, that's the type of stuff you notice. And I noticed that a lot in this movie, and a lot of the actions didn't really make sense by character standards, in all honesty. That's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. You want to give it a score?
8.
Give it a 7.
I thought you said 6.5.
No, that's what I said on the Facebook review. On here, I give it a 7. Because it's not as...
What's the difference?
A point. It's not... Because I had a minute to think about it. It's not terrible, but it's not great. If this is on your... In all honesty, if this movie is on your top 10 of the year list, you, quite honestly, didn't see a lot of movies, or you're a straight-up fanboy. Because this movie is not great. It's a Star Wars movie. That's the only reason anyone's talking about it. That's the only reason anyone's going. That's the only reason we were there at 9 a.m. If you would have took away the Star Wars name from this movie, I think this movie would get a lot more critical reviews. And this is why it's 56% audience approval. Think about that for a minute. But I give it a 7. You gave it an 8. It's at 93% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. It's perfectly fine. I just don't think it's great. You have anything else to say? You crack me up, little buddy. Bye.
Bye.